Chucker, eh?
How's it going? And welcome back to the Sharp Hand Path. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and today is going to be something a little bit different on this channel, but honestly should probably be a little bit more prevalent and more often on this channel. Is some actual martial arts discussion, and I am going to be doing a response to Gabriel Varga, the pretty well-known MMA fighter and karate combat fighters video, 5 stupid things that karate teaches you. So let's get up out of the chair and actually try to demonstrate some of this stuff as best I can in this tiny room. Alright, so now that we're back here and you can see, well, not all of me, but most of me. Again, just if you're new to the channel, I'm not a green belt in anything, and I don't claim to be a sensei to anything. I've been studying martial arts for about 5 years or so, since 2020, 2021-ish. And I do Goju Ryu Karate. As you can see by the gi over here, I've got a yellow belt and I'm working towards my orange. And I've got a orange stripe belt in Iron Leaf Mixed Martial Arts, which is a local Canadian new style of martial arts incorporating some karate, some taekwondo, some military combat style of stuff, as well as a few other things. So yeah, I got my hands and toes dipped into a few different martial arts, and I'm going to give my thoughts on what Gabriel Varga said. So the first thing that Gabriel talks about is the edged sidekick versus the heel sidekick. And the first topic we pretty much agree on. I feel like if you're going to shoot out a sidekick, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, and you throw it up, you kick it out, and yeah, you don't normally want to kick with the side of your foot with your ankle bent sideways and hitting something, because it's only going to snap your ankle if you use too much force, or if they knee check it or leg check it or whatever. So we pretty much agree on the using your heel for a side kick as opposed to the edge of your foot, which a lot of karate does teach you to do. So we're 1 for 1 there, and I agree with him on that. The next thing that Gabriel Varga says is, why use a ridge hand to strike when you can easily just use a hook? Or if they're closer, in, right? So I pretty much agree on that. We're 2 for 2. I don't feel like you would ever benefit from using a ridge hand over a nice hook or a closer hook, or even just a quick jab. I agreed with him on those first 2 points. So the part where we start to kind of differ is his third point and the 5 stupid things that karate teaches us, and that is the back fist. He says back fists are weak and don't work in MMA or a fight. Yes, back fists might not be the most strongest attack. However, I have used them in sparring. They do what I feel a back fist is supposed to do, which is a quick out and a strike and a distraction. Once you do the quick strike, the opponent is focused now on their bleeding nose or busted lip, so that you can follow it up with a straight punch, a gut punch, a teep or a front kick. Either way, the back fist is not meant to be a like Bruce Lee type of finisher move that's going to end your opponent and you can walk away looking like a badass. No, that is not the point of a back fist, and that is not what I use a back fist for when I'm sparring, or if I ever get into a physical altercation. I'm probably not going to think that a quick little is going to finish the dude. So yeah, no, back fists do work, but not as a finisher or as a super duper powerful knockout type of hit. I feel the back fist is best used as a distraction method, because the brain goes where the pain goes, and then you can follow up with your next optimal strike. All right, next, Gabriel Varga starts talking about what he calls a toes pulled forward roundhouse or front snap kick. I suppose the claim is that the pulls pulled forward for a front snap kick or a side kick is meant to dig the underneath part of the foot into the stomach or into the sternum, or something soft and squishy you want to hit with something hard. Because that's the idea, right? You want to hit something squishy with something hard, and you probably want to hit something hard with something soft. So I kind of agree there, where the toes pulled back and striking with them is probably not the best way, because I'm just going to show you on my slipper here. If you pull your toes back and try to hit with that, you could jam your toes and snap them off, or you could hit incorrectly and snap them off this way. So you never want to make the impact kind of right here on your foot. So I agree with that. Now, I feel like the application to this is for maybe not quite a roundhouse or a front snap kick. I feel like if someone's in guard, you're gonna have this type of motion, right? So if you throw the snap kick like an axe kick and come over top of the guard, you can come over the guard and into the clavicle, into the neck, into the chest, and bring it back really quickly. That would be a good way to use the toes pulled forward type of roundhouse, but you would have to angle it at such an extreme degrees that you get up and over the guard into, like I said, the clavicle, which would really suck, in the neck, in the face, in the chest. However, you'd have to be a pretty flexible karateka to pull this off, or martial artist. I know myself, I can barely get my leg up to about midsection height before it bottoms out at stretch, because I'm 38 years old and I didn't start doing any sort of gymnastics or any limber type of sports or anything. The most I used to do is some skateboarding back in the day. So yeah, my legs don't do the splits. I can't kick over my head. So I'm definitely not the person that's going to be pulling off the over the guard downward kick, but I feel like that's how you could utilize the toes pulled forward type of kick. All right, lastly, Gabriel Varga is talking about the so-called double punch, where you are attempting to punch a person in two different places at the same time, or attempt to kick and punch someone at the same time. He's right. Someone doing it for that purpose, or trying to utilize those techniques for that purpose, probably ridiculous. And he's right. When you have both your hands out, you have nothing back here to protect yourself, and you want probably just to do a jab and keep your guard up. So no, you don't want to ever do this in a fight. You don't ever want to extend your leg and your punch out in a fight, or in MMA, which he does. That's correct. But the thing with the double punch in karate is that it's not a double punch, and you definitely don't use it as a first strike technique or a surprise technique. Because yeah, when my hands are out here, there's nothing covering my face, and there's nothing covering my kidneys or this side of my body. That type of strike, when used properly, is probably a finisher to a bunch of flurries or techniques once the opponent is already dazed, confused, and probably running low on stamina. And again, it is not a double punch. It is more of a double pinch. When you do these type of technique, especially when you learn it early on in Gekkasai Daiichi, or in a forward stance, and it is a downward strike this way and an upward strike here, and you're meant to punch at the midsection, pushing down into the sternum and up into the abdomen, making a pinch and a downward and upward strike at the same time. When you get into it in Gekkasai Daiichi, your feet come forward and you duck down. You do the uke and you step back and you punch down and pinch right into the midsection. So it's not a double punch, and it's definitely not meant to be used as a first strike or anything where you are open to getting hit by the opponent. It is used as kind of a finisher, and definitely something where the opponent doesn't have time or the energy to retaliate in time. This is definitely something that you know you're going to be able to finish your opponent off with and land cleanly. All right, and lastly, the one that's pretty obvious and I agree with: do not punch and kick at the same time. It's two different distances. The punch is for close distance, and a snap kick is for medium to slightly far distance away with your opponent. What are you going to be punching if the person is in kick distance? What I would like to think about this is, if you're going to throw a punch and a kick at the same time, it's not going to be a punch and a kick at the same time. It's going to be a punch, and like you see in Wing Chun Kung Fu, the kick is going to be more of a check. So I'm going to angle this down a second. So the kick and the punch is going to look more like a punch and a check. The punch will be at the sternum or the face, and the kick will be coming out to the side to stop the other kick. It'll look like this, sort of like in the Ip Man movie where he's punching and he's kicking with his foot to stop the other person from kicking him. That is the only time you would punch and kick at the same time. So yeah, any fans of Donnie Yen or the Ip Man series will recognize that type of strike and check. If you're a Wing Chun practitioner, you get taught this pretty early from what I'm aware of. And I've even learned this type of strike and check in Iron Leaf Mixed Martial Arts. It was a fairly early on technique, and even we knew it's not a kick and a punch at the same time. It's a strike with a leg check. So those are all the 5 points that Gabriel Varga came up with in regards to stupid things that karate teaches us, and these have been my kind of counterpoints, except for the first 2 that we agreed on for the most part. So, hopefully you enjoyed my response to Gabriel Varga's 5 stupid things that karate teaches us. Let me know your thoughts on my counterpoints in the comments section below. Let me know if you like this style of tutorial or response video on the channel here. Let me know if you'd like to see more technique tips or fight theories on this channel. I might do more response videos if it gets good reception here, and I don't mind breaking down fight moves and giving my thoughts and opinions on them as a martial arts practitioner myself. Again, not the greatest martial arts practitioner. I'm still learning. I'm gonna have years and years of learning and new knowledge blessed upon me from my teachers, Shifu Spinner and Sensei Dave from the Oshawa Budo Club. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Shei, Na Shin, and one on.
We should run. We should hide. We should kick their butts.